Hello and welcome to the CentralizedWise Podcast. My name is Pedro.
And I'm Miguel, and you just joined us in our mission to decentralize the world wisely.
Wisely, and this episode is very important. Wisely, because we are talking about something that is mostly never talked in YouTube, um, which is on and off ramps for crypto. And since we think that it is a major issue that we are facing right now, especially in Europe, because Europe is trying to outright ban um, payments peer to peer without going through centralized entities. Imagine. Uh, since that is the reality, I think we should stop and think, why is that? And that was the main focus of today's episode, is to think about it, understand why they are taking that approach. What does it matter for us? For us, people in crypto already, and others that want to join and will probably have a hard time doing that, or limits, or uh, outright bans in some cases. So I think this is a very important issue, and I think it's not discussed enough. What do you think?
Yeah, well, those guys are always trying to control everything. So when they start losing control of some of the money, it's always bad news. And we can expect some feedback from the guys that want to control everything. So here we are. As you said, the European Union is trying to narrow the possibility of doing something apart from their grand scheme of things. So putting money into crypto just leaves it out for the controlling of the money supplies. And it's still not easy to do it, even with centralized exchanges. It's still not easy to control everything, but they are narrowing all the things that they can do in order to make that control possible.
But first, sit back, grab your drink, and relax, because
Yeah, I need water. Yeah.
this episode will be centralized.
Yeah, well, it's for a change. It cannot always be decentralized. So we have some centralized stuff to talk about.
The problem is that there is not enough decentralized stuff in this regard. And we really need more. And that's why we are having this episode, is to give people ideas to build more things. This is a very important place. And guys, if we don't decentralize all the areas of crypto, as Satoshi told us and showed us that it was the only option, we will, when they narrow all things down, we will be just like fish in a lake and the ocean on the other side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well,
We cannot let that happen.
Yeah, you were talking about Satoshi, and Satoshi just whoever the guy is, or the guys are, they made Bitcoin available to us. And the very important thing about Bitcoin is that until now, nobody was able to control Bitcoin. Bitcoin is totally distributed. So the only way that they have to control right now the money supply that goes on in and out cryptocurrencies is through on and off ramps. So this is the subject of today, which we are very pleased to bring to you guys. But not before you guys like and subscribe. And if you find this content very nice, as you should, please share to your friends and let them know that we are here putting up a lot of information to you guys. So yeah,
As you should, as you must. You must find our content very useful
yeah,
because
because
it
it
is.
actually is. So so let's start. What the hell is a on and off ramp?
Yeah, let's start there because imagine if you think about a blockchain and the blockchain with the token, for instance, Bitcoin, it appears in a silo, right? It's a siloed economy, right? It generates coins and distributes the coins with the initial supply of coins, and then when there is 21 million coins, it's all the supply. It's not distributed anymore, and it will have a life of its own, right? And it's a silo,
Yeah, what do
right?
you mean by a silo? Is that it's a closed system, right? There's
Yes,
no bitcoins coming in and out from the
there are
Bitcoin
no
network.
interfaces in blockchain usually,
Yeah,
right? The only thing that we usually build is bridges, and they are called exactly that because they put transport things from one side to the other side, right? That's the bridge. The bridge is
hmm,
used for that, and uh, they call bridges exactly because of that, because the economy of a blockchain is a siloed economy. It's a closed system, right? And if you think of it like that, uh, you can imagine that there's nothing coming in and there's nothing going out,
yeah, but
usually
then
without a
again,
bridge.
yeah, but then again, if you make a bridge, you are only extending the network. It's still a closed system, but part of several networks. But
Yes.
you cannot take Bitcoin out of this network, neither put it in.
The function of the bridge is to uh, hold uh, value on one side and create derivatives of that value on the other side and vice versa,
Yeah,
right? It's never like a common bridge where cars go from one margin to the other. Here the cars don't go, right? The cars stop at one margin, and another version of that car is minted on the other side, right?
yeah, but it's not really a Bitcoin. It's just a representation of the Bitcoin because the
Yeah.
Bitcoin is still on its own network. So we are
So
kind
it's
of extending, but it's not a real Bitcoin. It's a wrapper for a
yeah, it's
Bitcoin.
a wrapper or a derivative or whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it, and that usually creates honeypots, like the
Yeah.
parking lot that is on one margin
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
very interesting for thieves
It's
usually.
usually very tasty to look
Yeah.
at it because it's a
So
big pool of Bitcoin standing around there waiting for someone to pick it up. It's
it's
tasty.
usually like that with bridges in the real life either, right?
Yeah.
So um, yeah, this is the connection, the traditional connection of networks, multiple networks. And we've seen that, and we've seen the effects of that, and so on. But then there is a no network or a traditional network, which is fiat system, that needs connection to crypto systems.
Mhm.
And that is a different kind of bridge. Is not a bridge uh, per se, because the mechanism is similar, but there is no outside network. It's traditional coins and uh, currency on the other side,
Yeah.
right? So there is no parking lot. The parking lot is the account of some third party, and that third party serves as the insurer or the uh, collateralization of a token that is minted on the other side, right? When we when
Yeah.
we when we define a stable coin, for instance, a stable coin is exactly that. USDC receives transfers usually from exchanges, right? And mints USDC tokens and serves as a collateralized system for USDC token, right? So they guarantee that USDC token is backed by real dollars in some account of Circle, right?
Mm.
And that is one example of an on and off ramp, but they usually don't do that for people like you and me, and they do it for exchanges and big accounts, right? Us common mortals, we need to go through something that is known as KYC, know your customer. And that is a mechanism to keep all your data somewhere so that you can be uh, charged if you misbehave, or if they think you misbehave, or if they think you didn't do whatever they think you should do. And that, although I don't agree with terrorism, financing of terrorists, uh, money laundering for drug cartels, and all those bad actors, I don't really like those guys. But I don't agree that we all are guilty uh, or should be seen as guilty because there are bad actors in this planet.
Yeah.
Because there will be always bad actors in this planet, but I believe that something is very important to keep in mind. We are all uh, expected to be good actors and not bad actors, right? And someone
Yeah.
can be,
Innocent until proved guilty.
yeah,
That's
innocent until you
presumption
are
of
proved guilty. But
innocence, right?
it's
But
in
it's not like that.
KYC,
Yeah, it's
in
not like
KYC
that
and AML
when it
is exactly
comes to
the
money.
opposite.
Yeah, when it comes to money, it's not just this. And when it comes to money, you are guilty until proven innocent, which is kind of strange way of doing things. And this on and off ramps is the way they have to narrow down how the money flows into and out of crypto. So this they only allow for these institutions to play this role. So we can see this in most in the bigger centralized exchanges. They they play this role of helping people putting money in and out from crypto, but they are dealt with like banking institutions. So the restrictions to them and the regulations are so severe as being a banking institution, and that's
Yeah.
why normal people are not allowed to play this role. So me myself, I cannot on and off ramp from anything. We had local Bitcoin, which is now gone, which played this role, and regular people would be able to play this role, but not anymore.
Yeah, local bitcoins disappeared. Uh, they say that they were not profitable anymore. I don't buy that. Uh, I think they were shut down by the powers that be. Uh, that's
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
what I think, because they say that well, the bands in Russia, they were the our biggest clients, and when the United States banned Russia, they couldn't accept Russian users anymore, and they couldn't pay their bills. I don't buy
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, nobody knows. But what is strange is that nothing came to replace it.
Yeah, because it's too risky.
Yeah. Well.
And we have the teachings of Satoshi Nakamoto. Do it without telling who you are.
Yeah.
Create code and publish code, right?
Yeah.
Usually, when you are building things that you actually think are valuable, but the powers that be will find it uh, something to shut down, that's the way to go, right?
Yeah.
You build it and you don't tell you who you are. You tell, I am Namoto Sakatoshi, whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just find
So,
your own name. Don't use the same name as the other guy.
yeah, don't use this because that would put me in trouble. Use
Yeah.
someone
Yeah. Some
else's
other name.
name.
Yeah. You guys are
You can
creative,
use
so
you can use
just
Portuguese prime minister's name,
yeah. Well, yeah. That's an option. Yeah.
or any other 10 prime ministers before, or presidents,
Yeah.
whatever.
Don't do that because that's impersonating someone, and that's a crime. So yeah.
Okay, just
Don't put
change
yourself in
change the
on that
first
role.
and the second name.
Yeah, or the first characters. It will be funny.
Or
Oh,
you can call yourself Homer Simpson or
yeah, oh, yeah. Why not?
John
Yeah,
Doe, something. Yeah.
yeah. As I was saying, you guys are creative. Just go with your own names and have fun with it. You can publish your code under that name and under that alias. Nobody knows who you are. Just be careful on what you
And
do.
if you are doing something that is really important, it's very uh, it's very important that you take some safety measures, like always access when you publish stuff to the internet to centralized infrastructure like GitHub. Do that always while drinking your favorite drink in the local bar, using the
Yeah.
local Wi-Fi, through Tor network.
Yes.
Okay, and when you talk on any social media, do it through Tor because you can run your own local Tor server and help the network while you
Of
do
course.
that. And it's not that I have done that. I never done that. Never.
No.
Only just for
Yeah, we are only
experimentation.
mentioning. Well, only
Only
we
for
are only mentioning.
experimentation for this video.
Yeah, we are only mentioning Tor because we just came across Tor
It's three
network.
letters and it's easy to remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's not that easy though because I was calling it first rot. So it's a pain in the ass. So yeah,
So
so guys, be aware that if you are publishing stuff anonymously, take your precautions. Don't be stupid. And yeah. Okay, so what's the current state of on and off ramps? We already said that those are dealt by governments as banking institutions. The thing behind this and why they have to be validated by the governments is that if they want to operate in specific countries, they will have to be accepted by their governments. So they have each country has their own regulations about banking institutions, and yeah, well, for instance, Binance was unregulated in several countries, and they have quite some issues regarding that.
they try
Crypto.com
their
is
best.
usually, yeah. Well, they had to become regulated, right? So they had to comply with a lot of stuff that they were not complying. Crypto.com is usually very well accepted in most countries. So Kraken is usually not accepted anywhere. So, so yeah,
But
you have this different paradigms around the centralized exchanges. Uh, so this is how it plays. So if you want to put money in some crypto network, you have to go through an on ramp, put the money
which
in an
is
exchange. Usually, the first one that came up with that was Coinbase, right? So you were only able to do that uh, virtually without going to the coffee store and
there were
trade with some other guy that you planned with local bitcoins.
yeah,
You would be able to
there
do
were a
that
few.
in
There was Mount
Coinbase.
Gox, and
Mhm.
Mount Gox was started as a trade engine for in-game tokens,
Mhm.
and then they became quickly the largest Bitcoin exchange, or the first actual exchange of Bitcoin, and then as centralized infrastructure, they had their FTX moments
Yeah.
pretty soon because people just get greedy and greedy, and they seem to think that the money flowing in is never ending. They found the golden egg chicken, and that's it, right? And it's never like that. So, but we have experienced that centralized shit usually is not a good idea
Yeah.
because and it's not it's nonsense to use if you are in need to use centralized infrastructure to access the biggest decentralized network. This is, guys, come on. We don't
Yeah,
need
it's
that kind
subverting.
of,
Yeah, it's subverting
yeah,
the system, right? So the guy had a lot of trouble putting this network, this decentralized network, to work, and then we are encapsulating that in a centralized way. So
yeah.
yeah,
Let's.
it kind of defeats itself, the purpose of Bitcoin,
It
right?
doesn't make any sense. It's not that I advocate for bad actors. I want to make this clear, but I don't think that AML and KYC makes any trouble for bad actors because they continue to exist with or without it in crypto land. in fiat land, right? So it's something that we are enforcing to crypto that didn't work in fiat, and they are hoping for it to work in crypto. Really? I don't think so. I think their agenda is different than that. It's not that they want to control terrorists and money laundering and all that shit. Their agenda is a different thing. They want to control us.
Yeah,
And
and that's the difference. And you guys just play a little bit with this. If I, for instance, I'm a big cartel guy. I'm selling, I'm creating, I'm fabricating
are
drugs.
you?
Uh, I am, but don't tell anyone, please. You can put me in trouble if
You
you
know,
tell people
you know
that.
that you are live. This is recorded.
Okay, let me go on with my example. What keeps me to go to the next door guy and just pay him a few $1,000s and for him to put the money in, make the KYC or ALM, and being him to put the money in. And then if he gets compromised, I can just go to the other guy and pay him a few $1,000s to do that job. So
And if you
it's
want to
just as
learn
stupid
more,
as this.
if you want to learn more about AML tactics, there is a fabulous series called Ozarks. Go to Netflix
Yeah.
and watch it all because you will learn a bunch how to launder money, or especially how not to launder money. Uh,
Yeah, exactly. So
and
it's just as
yeah,
stupid as this. So they just want to control the little guy, and because that's where they get the most profit from. It's like your government, right? You don't get anything from the people that are really below on the stack of the profit stack, but you get all of it from the people in the middle stack. Forget about the rich guys; they don't pay taxes. Neither the poor people; they also don't pay taxes. So the people that generate some money, those are the ones that pay taxes, country wise, continent wise, worldwide. So that's where they're getting their money from, and that's the who they want to control.
exactly. So this is the problem. The problem at hand right now is we need more decentralized infrastructure for on and off ramps to crypto from whatever, right? Uh, if you want to call it fiat on and off ramps, I don't care. If you want to call it commodities on and off ramps to crypto, I don't care either. I can trade corn for Bitcoin, or I can trade real estate for Bitcoin. Why not? Right? Or fiat bills, uh, worthless paper. Why not? Right? So this is a must. We need to build this. We, the community, right?
Yeah,
Uh, and I really think it's very urgent for us to build more stuff. There is already some uh, projects. There are some projects on this, but clearly not enough. And one of the projects that I wanted to talk about is BISC. Uh, it is a decentralized project, and uh, it is running. It is getting more traction today, and so on. It's becoming more interesting. It started a few years ago already, so it's not something that just started right now. Um, but I really think that we need more. We need more decentralized infrastructure that is non It's not controlled by a single entity that doesn't have a company behind, doesn't have a CEO, doesn't have a single developer that they can arrest, uh, and that works by itself. Doesn't need
Yep.
any hosting, doesn't need anyone behind to make it work.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and again, we keep talking about this, and those are the risks of the decentralized stuff, right? So if you have somebody that you can grab your hands on, or some company that has control over a network, those are centralized points that can just be captured by the powers that be, right? So this is the point that we want to avoid with decentralizing things. So if you have a CEO that the government can charge, if they don't do whatever the government wants, they will do it eventually. So this all applies to censorship, to surveillance, to if they want to shut you down, they can. All of that, all of those things that you are in risk when you have centralized systems.
yeah. So if you want to use a decentralized system to um, buy, sell, whatever, one of the options is exactly this. I am sharing it right now. Let me just try myself. There it is. Uh, BISC is one option, right? It's a decentralized network, and it has um, a desktop app where you can buy BTC, sell BTC, whatever, and it's decentralized. No identity verification, decentralized, safe, private, all the good things, and it's run by a DAO. Okay, there is a decentralized governance system there, and uh, that is one of the few options, right? The the market is not um, very big in this area, right? So this is one of the options, right? And if you want to start using that, go ahead. It is a good network. We don't have any affiliation with them.
Yet, but
We
if they
just,
want to pay us something, we don't mind.
if they want to sponsor our channel, um, probably that wouldn't be a very good thing because it would show that they are
Sai,
a bit
sai, sai, sai,
centralized
sai,
anyway.
sai, sai.
But um, anyway, this is one of the platforms that you are able to use today to buy and sell Bitcoin, right?
Yep.
Otherwise, you can tell your kid to take your Bitcoin and sell it anywhere else, as Miguel was just doing right now. Is he
Yeah.
selling or is he buying today?
He's also part of the cartel, so he's not into he's not into crypto because we need more on and off ramps that are decentralized.
Ah, okay, okay.
So yeah. So the next thing is Okay, we went through the regulation stuff and how this decentralized exchanges and that suppliers on and off ramps came into be, and how these regulations just restrict the liberty of people. And we were talking about censorship and surveillance, right? So if they want to see what you're doing with your money, this decentralized exchanges allow governments to check what you're up to. So the main thing here is let's be fair. It's not if you are a cartel guy. It's not if you are an armed dealer. It's about taxes. And what is decentralized exchanges allow is, yeah, for people to evade taxes, right? And this is the big deal. And the how can I say this? The how strongly they are coming into this space. It's crazy how they are enforcing things. It's crazy right now because mostly they don't even realize how a blockchain works, and you can see that by the legislation that they are coming up with. And these decentralized exchanges allow you kind of to escape this, but for how long?
I one of the things that I really loved, it was that bill that was proposed in the states for taxing Bitcoin transactions in 30%.
Yeah, how crazy is that?
That
That's
showcases
that's
exactly what you said. They don't have any clue
yeah.
because that's impossible. Yeah,
Well, it's not
it is.
impossible, but you have to supply your wallet. I'm using this wallet. Please charge me. It's something like this.
It's impossible to. Uh, if you make a rule that's impossible to enforce, then you better not do it because it doesn't make sense, right? And in decentralized networks, you cannot enforce a taxation on transactions because the chain has its own fees. It's already there. You cannot change that, right? Uh, Otherwise, you need to create another network with a different economy,
Yeah,
right?
well, they kind
They
of are
can create
creating their own stuff, right?
they can create a CBDC, but it will not be Bitcoin.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
And it,
it won't, but
yeah,
and we can even bring up that they are already kind of enforcing the usage of electronic money for quite some time, and the latest stuff that we hear around here is that local stores can be able not to accept fiat money anymore. So if you go with uh, with some coins and some paper money, the store can say that we don't accept that anymore.
actually, in Sweden, I think there are already they are already in place with that. If you go to a bar and want to pay with cash, they uh, say to you immediately that nah, we don't accept money.
Yeah,
If you want to
that
pay
is
with with card, and that's it. We don't accept coins and bills.
yeah.
So that was a very strange thing for me when I was there. because it was a few years ago and I wasn't aware of that. And many places that I went, that they didn't have any way for me to pay with cash, their own cash. It was not mine,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah. And
Swedish cash,
it's
right?
kind of strange to look at that, because that's the only way that you have to pay anything anonymously. Any other way
Yeah,
that you pay with a card, with crypto, with whatever, is not anonymous anymore.
it is very, very strange. And yeah, it's getting like that everywhere.
Yeah,
And that is a problem, because if you lose the possibility of having money that is not uh, centralized, uh, I don't like fiat. I think it's worthless piece of paper. But it had a very
but at least
important
it's anonymous.
It is anonymous. It
Yeah,
is censorship resistant, because anyone can pick a bill and move it around and
yeah,
pay for things without any restrictions, right?
yeah,
There is no government that can tell me that I cannot get my euro bills that I have stored somewhere outside of the banking system, because if it is on the banking system, they can stop
yeah.
me, of
Well,
course.
yeah,
But if I have them under my mattress, I can get those bills and pay for something, right?
yeah. But and that's
And
what we try to emphasize during our episodes, is the how bad this can go, or how wrong this can go, and it's honestly pointing in that direction, which is this can become worse than fiat money. So if you have some government institution controlling the currencies, it's not just that they can create or remove money from circulation. It's just that they can control every transaction that goes on, every little transaction that goes on. If you are going to buy a coffee, they know it, and
yeah,
that's the scary part of crypto.
and crypto has something which is very important to talk about, which is it's transparent, and it shows on chain every movement of every coin in existence. And that is not a problem if we consider that uh, the on and off ramps are um, private, right?
Yeah.
If you have only on and off ramps that need to report everything, every single transaction that go in and gets out of this system is much more uh, complicated, or it's much more um, painful for the regular guy than any other.
Mhm.
And this is something that we need to think about. I think we all in this channel are Bitcoiners, and we are all proponents of Web3, decentralization, and the decentralized economy and freedom and all those. I don't see much terrorists in our chat box. If the guys go there and start dealing weapons and drugs and all that, I would be the first one to shut them out or report them. But I think we are freedom thinkers, and if we allow this trend to continue and we don't build on these sides, creating alternative ways in and out of our blockchains, not just Bitcoin, Ethereum, any other chain. If we don't build that infrastructure, that decentralized infrastructure, we will be in worse hands than with fiat money, because fiat money was at least private in transactions. To store it in the bank, it would be uh, subject to KYC, but and if you pay by card, but if you pay by bills and coins, you are not subject to anything. At least you had a way to do private transactions, right? And
Yeah,
that's for centuries, right?
and
It's not something of today.
let's be clear about the dangers of this, because something similar, kind of like this, occurs currently in China, where they have this core, and if you don't behave, you lose points, and if you lose enough points, you are not be able to do stuff that you usually do during a regular daily of your living life, right? So they can shut down your cards, they can shut down your social security, they can shut down whatever they want, and they can disable you from doing your own stuff. If you want to go shopping, you won't be able to do that. If you want to drive a car, you won't be able to do that. So let's not forget that this already exists, and we just don't want it here.
Exactly.
And it's not hard to do this, because if we start using money in this under this kind of control, if they don't like the way you behave, and not every government is good. So, but even so, yeah, even so, you don't have to agree with everything that your government says, and if you don't behave like they tell you to behave, then you get this kind of really basic constrictions on your life, which is totally against freedom of thought, freedom of
Yeah,
everything
the
that you
first
can
thing
imagine.
is that you are responsible for your life. You do with your life whatever the fuck you want with it, and nobody should have a say unless they are your best friend and they want to make your mind so that you stop being a dick to yourself, for instance. That sometimes happens.
Mhm.
But besides that, no government should tell you what you can or can't do besides criminal stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and even criminal stuff, what they
Yeah,
think is
even
criminal,
so, yeah,
sometimes
it
it's
might
not,
not be. You might
right?
not be. You can see
So,
these things happening right now. That if you post something wrong, and you misphrase it or something like that in a social media, you get either banned, but by the network, but you have already governments requesting to shut down people. So this is happening in
and
Brazil, for
and
instance,
something
and
something that is terrifying is
and
that
it's just social media.
uh, but the courts and the um, public institutions are using social media posts as evidence.
Yeah,
This is in real life, guys.
yeah. And
This
now
is
keep in mind
dangerous.
that they can stop you to go to the grocery store and buy food because of such a thing as posting something on a social media
There's
network.
someone posted something on social media about yourself, and you see yourself in a Kafkian process,
Yeah.
like a never-ending story of prosecution stuff without even knowing what you are prosecuted for. This is happening in real life, and it is scary enough. If you join that with all the information on chain about your transactions, day
Yeah.
to day
Well,
transactions,
look at
then
the Canadian truckers stuff. Just
yeah,
because the government didn't like it.
and that's not on chain. That is
Yeah.
traditional fiat shit, right?
Yeah, but they were using Bitcoin to make those transactions. But
But
they,
yes, because they froze all the accounts
yeah,
from those guys, and that is terrifying because they were expressing their
yeah, they will. Their opinion.
opinions. Why should that be motive for freezing bank accounts? Right? I can say whatever I want. Why? Why should
Yeah,
I
well,
be stopped?
it's what it's called the crime of thought, right? You cannot think if you don't think the way that you're supposed to think, then you are a criminal, and that is not the way to go. That is really not the way to
Yeah.
go.
And in crypto, if we don't take this uh, subject as a very serious one, and although we might build marvelous things in Web3 and for finance and for social media and for empowering everyone to do marvelous shit. But if we don't have a way in and a way out that is not controllable, everything is controllable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they did. That's what they did. So since Bitcoin is not controllable, they had to control the way in and the way out. Those are the bottlenecks there.
Of course, no one can forbid me to transact directly with Miguel or with any one of you, right? But that's not scalable, right? And that's what they want. They don't want us to be able to scale crypto to mass adoption. They want us to stay narrowed, and they want to control every in and out so that we can just be siloed in an economic system that is not connected anywhere without their control.
Yeah.
And this is not good, guys. I'm. This is not doom and gloom episode or something like that. It's just to raise awareness of this situation that we are in right
Yeah,
now.
but we can speculate a little bit if things go south, right? We can speculate a little bit on what can happen, and the if a government becomes too big, it, it has to feed itself, and the way it feeds itself, it's by having people paying taxes, and how they have everybody paying taxes, or the more people paying taxes, is by controlling all aspects of the economy. And how do they do that? They restrict the liberties of people so that people don't have a wide way of navigating the economy. So this all comes down into people's freedom or lack of freedom in this case. So we can have it going into one way, or we can have it going in either in
the
in
direction.
the opposite direction, which would be the ideal for me, and I would agree for most people. But what it also can result is that it's somewhere in the middle, which is where most things end up anyway. So somewhere in the middle is that you can actually do some things that are, you have some freedom to do some things uh, in a decentralized way or in a free way, that you don't have to report every painful transaction that you do. uh, but you can also not clearly evade the taxing system. So if you are being getting your salary with crypto, you will eventually pay taxes from that. So I think that's where it will fall down in the end. But I think we should clearly speculate how it can become if it goes really bad or if it goes really good.
If it goes really bad, it's easy to understand. If we get a system that is completely siloed, then we have a completely transparent blockchain that shows every transaction, and nobody can move in and out without being KYC'd. And that means that every transaction that you did on chain since 2009 will be eventually known by the governments. And if you by mistake didn't pay your taxes on something, you will be charged.
Yeah,
And that is not a problem. But the problem is misinterpretation of the transactions that will always occur because people do dumb shit and systems do dumb shit times 1,000.
yeah,
So, especially systems that are programmed by dumb people. So,
yeah,
that's the problem. Usually, when you have a problem with IRS or something like that, first you pay and then you reclaim your
yeah.
um,
First you're fucked,
yes, and
and
then and
that's
then you
clear. First you're
and then you
fucked.
try
Then
to
you try
defend
to unfuck
yourself,
yourself. Yeah,
and then
which
you try to defend yourself and you are fucked twice, and then maybe by the fifth time you might be
yeah,
found not guilty and be eventually um,
yeah, and then the government just says, "Yeah, well, sorry about that."
yeah, you paid already, so there's nothing
Yeah,
we can do.
yeah,
And
and
this is terrible, right?
yeah, yeah, but that is like we are just talking about taxes there. What I think it needs to be emphasized is that all other freedoms will, if this goes really bad, all other freedoms will also be removed from you. So if you say something that the government doesn't like, and we are talking about government, but you can also apply this to lobbyists or people with power in general. But we are talking about government because it's usually the person with more power is the government. So, but this can also apply to any big company that can manage their influence around. So, if you don't say the right things, or if you say the wrong things, you can get also fucked up from that. And by saying that, I'm saying that you can get all your life in a very dark place. And when we are
Oh,
talking about ideas and people talking, because people right now these days are confusing talking with violence and violence with talking, and people get violated by words and some weird stuff like that. It's very how can I
Yeah,
say it?
the
It's very
world is getting
dubious. It's very
the world is getting
dubious
a strange place.
when you are committing a crime or not, because you are just saying things, and people shouldn't be prosecuted or penalized by saying things. People talk, and that's back and forward, and people change their minds by talking. So when people don't talk, we create very dark people, and we can see that in some instances where people commit really crazy shit. It's because they are usually not talking and not externalizing the things they are feeling, and yeah, then they commit really bad stuff. And we are seeing this exactly the same thing applied to every kind of speech. They are trying to restrict a lot of speech, and if you don't go by that, if you get penalized, and if you get all sort of restrictions because of that, it's really not a free country, right?
The world is getting a strange place, and just this is just something in between that I got across this weekend. Do you know that you are DMAB, Miguel?
I'm what?
DMAB,
What the
declared
hell?
male at birth.
I'm what?
A declared male at birth.
What, my like email?
Uh,
I'm a what? What are you
this
calling
is
me?
this is as strange as it can be. They are calling male humans declared male at birth.
Of course, I'm male at birth. What are
Yeah,
you talking about?
because this is the world that we live in. Uh, Although I agree
I
that anyone can do whatever they want with their sexual whatever, we don't need to find extra names for whatever, and we don't need to make it weirder, right? Just
yeah. So
accept
you're
difference. It's a lot easier. Not create a bunch of acronyms for shit that doesn't even make any
okay.
sense.
I think I just understood what you are trying to say with that. They
Yeah.
when I born, they saw that I was
When
a
you were
guy,
born,
and they
you were a
said
male.
he's a guy. So is it
Yes.
like that?
They told you were a guy.
Genius. This is genius. Thank God they
When I
did that.
saw when I saw that acronym, I didn't know what to do. If I would laugh my ass out
Oh, I did laugh.
or if I would cry like a
No,
baby.
don't. Yeah, don't cry.
Because
You are not the baby
man,
anymore, and you were declared a guy also, right?
yes, but this
Yeah.
is so
So if you
weird.
were declared a girl, you would cry. I
This
would
is
cry
just
if
a
they said this is a girl. It meant that I had a small penis. But the doctor said no. This is
man.
clearly a guy. So yeah, come on.
Yeah. Man,
I'm
this
happy
is
with
as
that.
we this is as weird as it can get. And it's just a matter of time until shit like this comes to your money. And believe
Yeah,
me, when it comes to your money, it will be weirder.
yeah. Yeah, and we are having regarding that subject, we are having issues. Well, not here in Portugal, but I think the United States is suffering with that, and Canada are also suffering with that. Is that if you go to a doctor, and if you say that you are a woman, he has to deal with you as if you were a woman, even though that there are different conditions from being a guy, right? You won't get pregnant, so you cannot go to a doctor and say, I think I'm pregnant. And the guy, what the hell will the guy tell you? I don't know how this happens in
I
Canada or the US, but I heard that doctors are being removed or are getting in trouble because they don't go along with that idea.
I am a woman, and I want to have my prostatic surgery.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The doctor cannot say you have a prostate cancer. What? Just listen this. Listen, hear this out. The
I mean,
doctor
this
cannot tell
is
you that you may have a prostate cancer because you are saying that you are a woman. So how crazy is this?
this is insane,
Yeah, because the doctor
completely.
can get fired because of that.
This is insanity in its best.
But that the declaration that I'm a male, I'm happy with that.
Man, the world is getting weirder and weirder, and we have one shot to make it impossible to
Yeah, let's talk
conceal
about the
us.
good stuff. Yeah, let's talk about the good stuff about this. So, if everything goes in the right direction, so governments just stop being crazy, and people start implementing decentralized stuff that it's resistant to every kind of censorship, to every kind of manipulation, to any kind of tracing, whatever, right? Let's
Paradise.
design, yeah, let's design this future because this is what people should be doing anyways, and this is how ideas of people that are listening to our podcast should go. So we were talking about decentralization stuff. How would we make an on and off ramp that is a nice one?
Well, there are, first of all, we should build a system or multiple systems or many use cases of many systems. The better, the bigger, the most options, the better, right? And the aim should be that there is no entity controlling, because if there is one entity that is controlling the system, then we will have local bitcoins 2.0 or 3.0 or
Mhm.
1000.0, right? uh, if they can shut down anything, they will, because of money laundering, because of tax evasion, because of KYC, because of whatever I see. It doesn't matter. They will find something that you didn't do
Mhm.
or would potentially not do to screw you. So,
Yeah.
what can we do about it? Build shit without companies
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
people behind it,
Yeah,
right?
and without anybody controlling it, because power centralization is what makes these things failable. What I mean by that is that either way, if you concentrate too much power in a single entity, person, entity, company, that might degenerate into something that is really bad and with a lot of power. On the other hand, if you concentrate a lot of power in the single entity, person, company, it can get controlled by a bigger fish, and that's
And
somewhere where we are right now, right?
calling a company a DAO is not enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it cannot be a company.
Forget it, because if you have a structure, and if you have people that um, control the organization, whether it's a DAO or whatever you want to call it, it's not enough. So the idea is to have a flat organization without anyone in control, right?
Yeah.
And that anyone can be replaced by someone else in seconds.
Mhm.
And you don't have any control of anything. And I know it's hard for us to build projects without having that,
Yeah.
because everyone wants to make money, right?
And
But this is not.
it's not just that. And people, when you put some product on for the general public, you want it to go on the right direction. So and you cannot predict everything. And as the product evolves, you want to have some steering on the direction where the product is going. But you cannot have that. You cannot
That's
even
the
have that.
problem. That's the problem of governance.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it in this podcast many times.
Yeah, but we can talk again. We
If
can have another episode talking about
if you
that
have
because it's important.
governance, too much governance in a project, then you screw project decentralization,
Yeah.
right? There is a level of centralization. It can be a DAO, it can be somehow decentralized, but it's not enough. The strong basis of Bitcoin network is exactly that. There is too
Mhm.
little, that is only a little governance,
Mhm.
and that is which code I run as a miner. That's the only
Yeah,
governance there is.
but even without that, if imagining that you had nobody else governing Bitcoin, it would still work.
Because it's little governance.
Yeah.
It's just the only thing that miners need to do, besides paying electricity bills to stay in business, the only thing that they have to do is decide which version of the Bitcoin core they run. That's it. And that's the beauty of the network, because the network doesn't have much governance. And because of that, it is impossible to control, right? If there is too much governance and there is too much hierarchical structures in the project, then you lose that property, which is anyone can substitute any node in the network at
Hmm.
any time.
Yeah.
And that's a very important property of decentralized networks. If you have some nodes that have different characteristics than others, then you have some points of failure in the system, right? If
Yeah.
any node is just equal, uh, especially when you reach thousands and thousands of nodes or millions, it's impossible to control, impossible
Yeah.
to manipulate.
Yeah, and that's the goal that we are trying to reach with other projects, right? So
Yeah.
if you we are telling you guys to go and start your own project, but be aware of these centralization points. So start decentralizing and starting thinking in a decentralized way, so that you don't get into these pitfalls.
Let's think about one thing. Everybody talks about creating tokens and as a way to finance your projects and to make money and so on. Do you really have to do that? Uh, is it the only way for you to make money with a project by selling tokens, like in an
No,
ICO
it's not.
style?
Yeah, that's the easiest one, but it's the most centralized way.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are
guys have to be
subject to
creative about it.
all the securities laws because of that, and so on. So uh, look at the way Satoshi Nakamoto did it. Of course, it was not the next day. He was mining Bitcoin since the inception.
Yeah,
God knows with how much miners he was mining, right? And
probably the first
he
times, the
he
first
or
times he was
they
alone, right?
he or they or whomever, I don't care. Uh, but Bitcoin was worthless. It was literally worth zero at that
Yeah,
time, right?
yeah,
And today everyone says, "Oh, Satoshi Nakamoto has 1 million bitcoins." Really? Do you think he only or they only mined 1 million bitcoins?
yeah,
Who knows? But who cares,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But
Eventually, if you build something
those
of use and that's important for humanity,
yeah, it will be
it will
valuable.
eventually become valuable.
Yeah,
Believe in it, right? For Satoshi, it took, I don't know, 8 years to become $1 billion worth of profit.
yeah,
I don't know. Is it worth it?
yeah. And the thing is, and the main point there is that those tokens were not handed to him, or they, who knows, at the beginning, at the inception of Bitcoin. So they were earned because they were
Yeah,
mining Bitcoin.
yeah.
So that's the way to go, guys. It's be creative and create the value yourselves.
And you can also think about projects that, for instance, Base. Base is a centralized system. It's not a good um, um, subject when we are talking about decentralized stuff, but they did one thing which is very cool. They they were the first uh, layer two chain of Ethereum that supports EVM like other layer twos, created without a token, right? They use Ethereum as a token.
Yeah,
And that's, I know that at first glance, it doesn't seem very important, but it is because they didn't have to create a token as a security to sell a bunch and so on, or sell it to anyone that want to join the network and be subject to securities laws or whatever. I don't give a fuck about securities laws. I think the SEC might fuck himself, and Gary Gensler might do whatever. I don't want to be rude in this channel, but the problem is that when you put your ass on the line, they will fuck you.
yeah.
And in this way, uh, Coinbase was very, very uh, wise. And besides, they are not
They were wise.
decentralized.
They were wise.
They
They are watching us.
they were they were very wise because that way they don't have any problem with securities laws, and the tokens that come in will have a representation for sure because they are Ethereum, and they will just charge fees, which is actually the way exchanges should work, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
They do exchanges and keep a fee.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is a very cool approach to saying F you to centralized governments and regulators and whatever. Because if you choose Ethereum or Bitcoin, which are well known as crypto assets that exist, and you don't have any control on those, and you just use them and keep a fee, that is a business model without any restrictions.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to stop, right?
Yeah. Well, let's see.
So
We will see about that
I
pretty
really
soon.
think that there are a lot of options that we can uh, put in place for decentralizing on and off ramps. I think it's very important that we do so. Uh, we need that infrastructure. We need 1,000 options. It's not just
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. We need
Let's
competition
build
there.
a lot of options. Let's create stuff that our kids might look at us with respect and understand when they have history lessons, um, that probably has the OG crypto guys had an important mission to
Yeah.
provide decentralization to planet Earth for good,
Thought you were saying that we had a mission to decentralize the world wisely.
wisely. And that's exactly the point of this channel. So this episode is something very in line of our ethos, right?
Yeah.
We really need that shit, guys. This is a call to action. Uh, we cannot do it, and even if we do it, we will not say that we did it. Uh, and even if you guys do it, we don't say that you did it, because we think that anonymity is very important in this place. And let's build 1,000
Yeah. Well,
options.
guys, this is a free market, and it's a huge market. So whoever does this project will get eventually a lot of money out of it. Just do it in a smart way. That's what we need. What you need to do. We are constantly giving you tips on how to do it and the best way to approach this kind of stuff. So it doesn't really matter if there are 10 or 100 decentralized on and off ramps. They will all get money out of this. So
And
it's
one
essential that we
thing,
have all this competition. Well, not competition, because they will be kind of collaborating with each other, but they can compete with each other and to present the best and most decentralized solution between them. And
one thing that is very important: think small. And by that, I don't mean think small for your project. We always need to think big for our project. Think small in features.
yeah, yeah, I
Do
do agree
the
with that.
little thing that makes the difference.
Yeah, but do
Fuck
it
the
well.
rest.
Yeah, but do it well.
Yeah.
Don't try to make this huge stuff because you only need an on and off ramp.
It's the uh, 80-20 principle, right? Think about 100%. then narrow it down to the 20% that is valuable,
Yeah, very
and then
essential.
prioritize that and do the number one priority.
Yeah,
And that's your project.
yeah,
That's Bitcoin.
yeah,
There was a bunch of things that they wanted to do, and they did one thing:
yeah,
peer-to-peer currency system,
yeah,
peer-to-peer electronic cash system, to be exactly correct.
yeah.
And
And that's a task, guys. That's your project. Grab it, and this is very essential because we already
I
have
think we as humans usually tend to do
networks.
the opposite. We want to do the Ferrari today,
Yeah,
uh, in the next sprint. Don't do that.
yeah. Just do one gear. It's enough. And
And
if everybody starts doing a small piece, one button, one gear, or one wheel, whatever, in the end, you will get something close to a Ferrari.
if it is what makes the difference, it will become
And just check this out,
huge.
guys. What we are saying here is, once again, decentralizing. So don't do one thing in one solution. Decentralize things. Create several solutions in a decentralized way so that we can join the pieces ourselves, so that users can join the pieces how
Yeah,
they
compose things
see fit.
like the way we see in Web3, like the composable smart contracts. That is a reality, but it is only a reality because each piece is simple enough to be composable, right?
Yeah,
And if we want to do the best on ramp, cool. Fuck the off ramp. Do the
yeah,
on ramp,
yeah.
right?
Let somebody
If you
else do the off ramp,
if someone has an idea to do the off ramp, do it fucking well, and
and
that's
let
it.
somebody else do the front end, and
And let's
whatever.
have a bunch of people doing the umbrella between the two and make the
Yeah,
on and off ramp of things.
yeah,
And this is the beauty of decentralization, is that we can all collaborate with each other. We don't need to compete with each other, right?
yeah. Well, you can compete. You can have competition between collaboration.
Yes, you can
You can have
compete with
both.
yourself.
No,
I'm
you
my
can even
worst
compete with
competitor.
others. No, you can even compete with others. You can compete to see who makes the most decentralized off ramp, and you
Yeah, of
this guy
course.
thinks that he's doing the most decentralized, but then I can do it better, and I just create another product, and somebody
Yeah.
else can. Well, those guys are dumb. I can create the most decentralized stuff, and this is competition. This is healthy stuff. But
Yes.
if we can, then we can get the on and off ramp, and somebody creates something on top of those and create an on off ramp. This is collaboration.
There is
You
there is a fine line between healthy competition and competition that is unhealthy and controllable. And that's the problem of competition. Usually it tends to control and not competition, because
yeah,
you when you have the control of a chunk of market, then you uh,
yeah, but
control everyone,
that again,
whether
that
they
is,
are better than you or not.
yeah, but then
So
again, if you
that
have
is the
control,
problem.
it means that you have too much power, which means that you are too much centralized.
Exactly because of that, I think we should uh, concentrate on collaboration more than competition.
Well, I kind of disagree with that, but I think we
Yeah, I
need
know.
both just the same.
That's the beauty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the beauty of this channel. We
Yeah,
don't agree all the
that we
time.
were saying. Yeah, that we were saying before. If I don't have the right ideas, just imagine that I could shut you down just because you think in a way that I don't think it's whatever they want to call it, formulated. That I don't agree, whatever. That's just idiot. We need to speak to each other, and we need to be free to express
Yeah.
ourselves.
So, call to action at the end
Yeah,
is
before call to action,
build it.
there's another call to action. Guys, if you are enjoying this episode, just click on the like button. Well, not if you are enjoying, of course you are enjoying.
The
Click
like
on the
button
like
is
button.
there.
Yeah, and the
There.
subscribe button is
Oh, no,
right
it's
next to it.
there.
You are
There, the like
confusing
button.
people.
And
You have
then
to
the
mirror.
subscribe.
You
Yeah.
have to mirror because we are seeing from the other side. And guys, also, if you enjoyed this one, don't forget to share with your friends. If you think it might help us, it might help them to understand what we are saying here, and create another approach to some projects. Share with your friends, and yeah, like, subscribe. Okay, let's go to this little call to action, guys. Just start doing projects. This is a really nice idea. You guys can go for it. It will certainly bring money to your project. Just don't forget to do it in a smart way.
Yeah. And for instance, you can think about for HTLC, for instance, hash time locked contracts. It's the way that atomic swaps are implemented. Bitcoin supports it. Uh, you can build HTLCs in Ethereum as a smart contract. Um, Litecoin supports HTLCs as well. Many other coins support HTLCs. Um, that is the way to make atomic transactions between two sides without a middleman doing the escrow.
Yeah.
And that is a cool mechanism to use in this project, right? Because you
Mhm.
don't need to serve as the government, the governing authority to say who behaved and who misbehaved, right? Um, you can think about uh, creating economies, collateralized economies, for instance, that even if you don't want to create that atomic swap technology, which might be tricky to do in some cases, uh, you can create collateralized loans, for instance,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? If you want something, if someone to be able to uh, provide on ramp, why not collateralize uh, some Bitcoin IOUs with some
Yeah, there are
tokens?
a lot of economic mechanisms that can be implemented. And we need to have that in a decentralized way, right?
Yeah,
Because what we have right now is some a central project that has all those mechanisms. But again, it's a little bit of centralization there.
when I want to buy Bitcoin and I go to a centralized exchange, which I do because usually that's the only option, right? Or
Yeah.
the most feasible option. Uh, I go to a centralized exchange and I am trusting that the centralized exchange will give me my coins. So I
Yeah.
send fiat in, wait like 2 or 3 days for it to arrive. And then when I have my fiat there, I am trusting the exchange to recognize that there is some money that belongs to me, right?
Yeah.
And I am trusting the exchange that will behave when I say to them, here is my fiat, please give me my Bitcoin. And they give me Bitcoin IOUs.
Yeah.
IOUs is like I owe you something, right? So they tell me, okay, you have X Bitcoin with us, right? But it's not real Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin papers,
Yep.
right? They write in a paper that I have that.
Yeah, it's
And
saying
then,
let's pretend you have Bitcoin so that you can move around here.
and then the transaction only ends when I withdraw the Bitcoin to my real Bitcoin account in Bitcoin Ledger, which is controlled by my private key, right?
Yeah.
And when the Bitcoin arrives there, maybe a week later, with all this process or more,
Yeah.
then I have real Bitcoin and I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I don't have any more risk in this transaction. This sucks, right?
Yeah.
So we need to make it better, a better experience, a better user interface. And there are plenty of ways to do that, we just need to be creative. And
Hmm.
if I would have other ways that are feasible and actually don't incorporate any trust, oh man, I would use that for sure.
Hmm. Yeah.
I
Indeed.
don't really like this. This is not a good experience to me, right?
Yeah.
And it's not a good experience to anybody. There is a lot of trust in the middle,
Hmm.
right? So this is the call to action, guys. If you are unsure of what to do this. You will be rewarded, I am pretty sure.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, somebody else will do it, because this is live on YouTube. So you better hurry, right?
Go and do it. Go.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, I think we can
I
wrap
think
up.
we are done with this episode. If you have any questions, any ideas, any comments to this, or if you have your own project and your project is not well known yet, or you want to um, share it with us, with the community, please go ahead in the comments, in our social media. We will do our
Yeah.
best to push it forward as well. If it is a sane project, if you are coming with a money grab, fuck you. And yeah, just reach us out, put questions, whatever. We are here to help. We want to build this uh, space with you guys, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Keep your questions coming. We'll gladly try to respond as best as we can.
yeah, and let's uh, understand that we are in this together, and that's why you are here with us, decentralizing the world wisely,
Wisely.
and keep it up. We will see you in the next episode.
See you in the
Cheers,
next
guys.
one.
Bye bye.